Welcome back everyone to another episode of Vegetarian Cooking with JJ. In this week's episode, we're going to make homemade falafels. If you make your own, they'll blow your mind, especially this recipe that I put together. Of course, I get inspired from different recipes and put my own spin on things. And I'm really excited to get started. So without further ado, let's head over to the kitchen and get cooking! First of all, I have 1 cup of chickpeas. I sifted through them, rinsed them, and now we're going to soak them. I'm using 4 cups of water, but as long as they're covered by a couple of inches or so. I'm adding a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Mix it in. This will help to soften up the chickpeas. We'll cover them, pop them in the fridge, and leave them to soak overnight. We're going to prepare our fillings and sauces in advance, so I'm starting off with our Israeli salad. I'm dicing up our tomatoes. I did make this in another video, and I'll share the link down below. You're welcome to scoop out the seeds and extract the liquid. If you already diced the tomatoes, you can place them in a strainer on top of a bowl. As for the cucumbers, you're welcome to scoop out their seeds, but if you don't mind them, you can just dice them up. I'm making a smaller amount of Israeli salad since it's just shimmy and me. And we're chopping up some red onion. And we're chopping up some curly parsley. You can use flat leaf parsley if you wish. And we're gonna get our lemon juice for our Israeli salad. We're gonna need more lemon juice along the way, so you might want a few lemons on hand. We'll just pour on our lemon juice and our olive oil. You want it nice and coated. Add some salt and some freshly ground black pepper. Mix it up nicely and we'll set this in the fridge while we prepare everything else. I'm also going to make a quick vegan tzatziki, so I'm grating the cucumber, and you're going to want to squeeze the cucumber to remove as much liquid as possible. I'm using the Forager Project Organic Cashew Unsweetened Yogurt for the first time, so we'll see how it goes. It seems to be much thinner than Silk's Unsweetened Coconut Yogurt. I'm adding in 1 teaspoon of garlic paste and about a tablespoon of lemon juice. I'm adding in our shredded cucumber. Stir it up. Add in some salt and some freshly ground black pepper. And we'll prepare our tahini sauce. Other brands tend to be quite thick. This one is on the thinner side. Add a little bit of lemon juice. We're making a small portion, as you can see. Add in some garlic paste and salt to taste. Thin it out with water as needed. We want it to be pourable. Now onto our spices for our falafel. We got 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds, 1 teaspoon of coriander seeds, and 1 teaspoon of white mustard seeds. The mustard seeds are my personal touch. I meant to toast the spices before grinding them, so before I continued grinding, I popped them on the pan, toasted them, let them cool, and returned to the grinding. Our chickpeas have been soaking overnight and they've expanded, so I'll rinse them off thoroughly and drain them. I have a 1/2 teaspoon of smoked paprika and a 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne. And we'll blend them together with our ground spices. If you don't have a mortar and pestle, you're welcome to use a spice grinder or a thoroughly cleaned coffee grinder. Here we're chopping up more parsley for the falafel filling, and we have a 1/4 cup's worth. We have a teaspoon of lemon zest and 2 teaspoons of garlic paste for our falafel filling. And I'm going to dice up some yellow onion. I decided to use a little more than 1/4 of the onion. We're ready to add our ingredients into our food processor, so I'm adding our chickpeas, our diced yellow onion, our 1/4 cup of parsley, our garlic paste and lemon zest, a 1/4 cup of lemon juice, our spice blend, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and freshly ground black pepper. And I thought a teaspoon of dried mint would be a nice touch. Now we're blending it all up. Halfway through, I'm adding a teaspoon of baking powder. Blend it up to your desired consistency. Some people prefer it to be more pulverized. I want a little bit more texture here. Now it's time to get rolling. I'm using an ice cream scooper to form our falafel balls. For convenience, I'm using a lined baking sheet to place the rolled balls onto. This keeps them in order and in their ideal form before our oil is ready for frying. As with all food origin stories, the origin of falafels is debated, but some people take this fight way too far. Everything was inspired by somewhere. Ideas are free, and we're all made up of a mishmash of different cultures coming from one origin. So we should celebrate our differences and similarities. And there's so many different variations of falafel depending on where you're from. In this recipe, I decided to leave out the cilantro just to appeal to those people who have the genes that are against it. If you like your cilantro, feel free to add a good handful of it. Back in Pharaoh times in Egypt, a type of falafel was made using fava beans. However, vegetable oil for frying was quite expensive, so I'm curious how they did it. Coptic Christians in Egypt who kept a vegetarian diet, it is thought that perhaps they shared a falafel recipe around the Middle East or Arab traders. It's also thought that perhaps this dish was influenced by India. Yemenite Jews in Israel, they used chickpeas rather than fava beans. And between 1949 and 1950, falafels gained popularity, and then falafel stands started popping up everywhere. In 1958, in Israel, a song was even written about falafel. Vilanu yesh falafel. And we have falafel. And today is considered Israel's national dish. Preheat your oven to 350 Fahrenheit for heating up the pita. We're getting our pot filled with oil. You'll want to use an oil with a high smoke point. I'm testing out the baby falafel just to see, and everything's ready to go. You don't want to overcrowd the pot. And you don't want to walk away from it either. Obviously, I did not fill the oil right up just to be more economical. So I'm turning the falafels gently as we go. Once the falafels are golden brown, gently scoop them out and have a paper towel lined plate ready. You'll want to dab off the extra oil. Our pita has been in the oven for a few minutes, fully sealed in foil so that it doesn't get crispy. We want a pita sandwich, not pita chips. Should you require, there are gluten-free alternatives. All of our falafels are nice and golden brown. We have our large warm pita, which I'm cutting in half. This one is quite thin for the amount of fillings we're putting in, so keep that in mind if you don't want to live dangerously like me. So we'll gently open it up and add our hummus to start off with. Spread it evenly. And we'll add our tahini, our baba ganoush, add in our vegan tzatziki, and I want our fillings to be distributed evenly, so I'm gonna add some at the bottom, adding in our slaw, our Israeli salad next. I'm sprinkling on some sumac for my personal touch, and I'm popping in a couple of our falafel balls. We'll see how many I can fit in here. We got 2 in. Living dangerously and adding a third one. I'm gonna slide in a couple of cut pickles here. And I squished in 3. Add some more salad as if it wasn't stuffed enough. Now we'll drizzle on more tahini, more tzatziki, why not? Add an extra sprinkling of sumac, and if you like, some hot spice. And I think we're ready to go. It's that time again, everyone. I get to try our delicious homemade falafel. It's gonna be fully loaded and fully messy too, so don't mind me if I get it all over the place here. Might need a trough. So good. It reminds me of my favorite falafel place at Steele's and Bathurst and Finch. It's so good. I'm trying not to make a mess here. I'm completely satisfied with the way it turned out. The sauces, the texture, everything is just going on. Adding that little bit of sumac was very nice. The touch of mint is really nice as well. I do taste mustard seeds in there too. It really makes a big difference when you make your falafel homemade. You got all those flavors. It's nice and fresh, the perfect texture. Because when you refry the balls, it tends to get more hard and you don't taste as much of the flavors coming through with these combinations of the sauces, the salads, Israeli salad, the pickle, the slaw. Everything comes together so nicely. And that little touch of sumac was so simple, but so nice. It was perfect. Let me know if you made falafels, what your favorite recipe is, or your favorite falafel joint is. No matter where in the world you're tuned in from, I'm interested to learn about all the different falafel places all over the world. And remember, if you like this video in any way, shape, or form, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel, hit that little bell notification icon so you don't miss a single video, because we're traveling the globe in my kitchen, keeping things interesting in my kitchen and in yours. Bon appetit.